and thank you for tuning in. You're watching The Property Guide on ET Now. I'm Faye D'Souza. Happy New Year to you and your family. And thank you for your overwhelming response to our episode last week on property bets for 2014. This week, while we were sitting around thinking about what we should do on our first show, we realized that so many of our friends and family who live overseas are home right now, visiting during their annual holidays. We've decided to spend some time helping them with their investments in real estate, considering we get so many questions from NRI viewers about investing in the Indian real estate market. Remember, if you have a question, you can send it to us on the email ID at the bottom of your screen. And if you have a family member who's an NRI, you can write down some of this advice and share it with them. As always, we have a wonderful lineup of experts in our studio. Om Ahuja, CEO of Residential Services at Jones Lang LaSalle, Karthik Verma, co-founder of PropTiger.com, who's in the studio, and Jayashree Kurup, head of content and research at MagicBricks.com, who's in Noida with us. I want to start by talking about the activity that we normally see this time of the year, which seems to be a little subdued. Are you seeing a lot of NRIs come in like they normally do this time of the year, or is it slightly quieter?
Well, we have seen some pockets benefiting in terms of NRI traffic coming in, specifically Chennai, specifically people coming in from Singapore for vacation. We've seen that activity is active there. Little bit in Bangalore, little bit in Delhi. Other markets seems to be, people are not too keen to explore options at this point of time in terms of what is that they can buy. We haven't seen this year being a good year. 2013 or early 2014 seeming that it's currently very subdued.
Well, Jayashree, this is similar to what we were talking about last week, which is also happening in our domestic market. Would you have the same advice then for NRIs who are window shopping, sitting on the fence, not making a decision? Is this the time for them as well to take out their checkbooks if they want to?
If I were to advise them, I would say that this is the time to actually go for a kill. Do search and search very well, but have people who will advise you well here and negotiate well, because this is a buyer's market and the sellers are willing to negotiate. One difference that I've noticed is that the NRIs have dropped their budgets. Where we saw a lot of NRIs looking at only premium properties, I think on my site, the maximum amount of searches are for properties in the 40 to 80 lakh budget, typically in the top 8 cities. You know, the Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, even Kolkata is active from the search point of view.
Let's first talk about making an investment at this point. If I'm living overseas and I want to make an investment in India, is this the right time across our cities right now? Do you believe there'll be a better time going forward? Or do you think, like you said last week, in 2014, we're actually going to see the real estate market pick up, move forward, and prices will begin to rise again?
The way we see the trend at this point of time is there's a lot more positivity we see in terms of capital markets. We see a lot more action in terms of IT companies, export-led companies, pharma, IT, auto, like many companies which are into producing something for international markets. They are seeing a little bit of revival in terms of volumes. That will really impact into better bonuses, better salaries, more employment for IT and export-led companies. So we see the sentiment turning around in next 2 quarters. It's a matter of next 1 or 2 quarters, you can do a lot of bargain hunting in terms of better deals in the market. We already seen a lot of developers coming out and rolling out offers for specifically for consumers, buyers in India, and for NRIs, specifically they can actually take the benefit of this whole approach. I think it'll be too late, after 2 quarters, it'll be too late for somebody to say that I'm still waiting for a better bargain deal. Our reading at this point of time is, if there is an NRI who is looking at making an investment into India, I would say one should really look at better options in cities which are growing, which have much more potential to grow from here, specifically when it comes to IT and IT-led industries, that is basically Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Gurgaon. These are the cities which come top of our mind.
Karthik, if I'm buying for my parents to live in, or if I am buying to live in eventually, then the location's already pre-decided. I'm obviously going to go back to the city that I'm from. In that case, it's not just enough for me to surf the web and look at websites like the one that you run. It's also important to actually get down onto the ground and see what's going on the ground, bargain with these developers. What's the best way to do that if I live overseas?
If you're visiting India, then go and visit a whole bunch of developers, go and visit a whole bunch of sites, see the kind of product that they've already delivered, see the kind of floor plans and sample flats and so forth. Understand what kind of needs your parents have. Do they want to live on some of the lower floors where they don't have to climb stairs in case the elevator is not working? How convenient is shopping for daily groceries and so forth? So all those are things that you need to understand. And I don't think picking up on all this data just from a website is sufficient when it's your parents' quality of life that is under consideration. So my biggest piece of advice to NRIs shopping for their parents would be, come to India, go along with your parents if they're mobile to satisfy their needs before you satisfy your financial conditions, whether this is going to be a good investment or not, because you're considering something for end use for your parents. And for that purpose, I think their quality of life and day-to-day existence is far more important.
All right, I want to bring Jayashree in. Jayashree, you said something really important in your last answer. You said it's so important to negotiate at this point. Now, if I don't live in the city that I'm buying in, it's going to become difficult for me to do. So what is the best way to negotiate? How do we get the best bargain at this point from our market?
It's very important to talk to locally and find out who the best brokers are. Even then, don't go with one broker. Go talk to a couple and see whom you are comfortable with. It's important to do your own research. Do the research, have the facts and figures on your fingertips. Today it is actually available, whether it's websites like ours, whether it's, the newspapers, the real estate section of newspapers. There's a lot of information out there in the public domain that you need to be very, very conversant with. After that, go talk to the brokers. And otherwise, I think if you have a large budget, there are a number of consultants who are willing to service you.
All right, we are grateful for that advice. Karthik, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to add, often when NRIs visit India, they've just got about a week or 10 days, and among all the different activities that they're conducting, like meeting relatives and entertainment and so forth, if they're trying to fit in a property purchase, often the decisions are made under duress. I'd encourage NRIs not to make a shotgun decision under duress. Make sure it's very well researched and invest some time into it rather than just decide within 1 week that this is where you want to be.
Time for a very quick break. When we come back, a legal angle to buying property for NRIs. Don't go anywhere.